Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.
Couple of things to remember. Don't overcomplicate things. Remember that those pivot points are really what we're looking at to establish our entry levels. Now, there are more advanced ways to enter trades, but recognize that your pivot points, which are essentially just based on support and resistance levels, provide the foundation for trading and managing not only just opportunities within the ISE FX option pairs, but also within your equities and other underlying security-based options. Try not to see what is not there. So in other words, don't try to convince yourself that a certain pattern is beginning to form or take place when it really isn't. So in other words, with the EUI, we're fully aware that it may actually, in fact, continue to the downside. So although we may be looking at the possibility of a little bit of a snapback on the U.S. dollar, we're not so blinded by those observations that we cannot also look at the possibility that if it breaks below a certain that certain key support level, then there's a trade opportunity for a continuation to the downside. So we really want to keep an open mind. Try not to see convince ourselves to see something that's not there, and don't rush into the trade. We want to be patient. These obviously the pair values are adjusted throughout the day. The currency market is trading 24/6, for example, and so there's always movement. Now, we may see consolidation. We may see these pair values trade sideways. What we need to do is just be patient, and we want to make sure that we are ready to take advantage of that. The other thing is, of course, is if the pair values are trading sideways, the great thing about the FX options market is that you can go in and you could create option strategies that will capitalize on the sideways movement of a particular pair value by doing debit spreads, by doing iron condors. You can do a lot of different things that I'm sure will be covered in some upcoming webinars. We want to create a mechanical approach. We want to take our emotions out of it as effectively as possible. Take it from me, you'll never ever be able to completely take the emotional component out of it. But if we create a set of rules for ourselves, starting quite simply with just being able to identify these key support and resistance levels and the ability to identify trends and such, then we've already taken some of the emotions out of it, and we're relying more on the price action, the pair value action, to determine our trading decisions. And then finally, you have to practice at analyzing these charts and at executing these trades. Many platforms offer simulated trading access that you can go in and create these positions, and you can see just how these pair values will move and are influenced by, or how these options are move and are influenced by the underlying pair value. And take some time and just click the buttons. Get used to watching how these options trade, and you'll find that your confidence level is that much more increased when you go live. Now, there is no substitute for live trading. It opens up a whole different emotional realm for the beginner trader. But if you've spent some time in the simulator and you have created a comfort level with these pair values, then you'll be that much more confident and comfortable when you do it in a live environment. So, guys, that's essentially it. Just a reminder, of course, that there are a number of upcoming webinars. This one we have essentially just completed, but we've got Dan Passarelli, Jack Crooks, Steve Misek, Price Headley, Raji Horner. We've got a lot of great names up here that you guys can take advantage of, listening to a lot of interesting topics. Again, fxoptions.com, FX Options TV, our weekly outlooks, the FX Options University podcasts, market commentary. There's a wealth of information there to take advantage of, plus a traders forum for you to share your thoughts and ideas. And of course, again, recognize that these pair values are accessible through your options broker. They're exchange-listed securities. They're cash-settled in U.S. dollars, European-style exercise, and of course, as I mentioned, can be traded as spreads. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to send me an email, jason@optionsource.net. If any questions about myself, my partners, our business, or options or the options market in general, shoot me an email, jason@optionsource.net. Visit optionsource.net, www.optionsource.net, to see what essentially we're all about. So, Steve, I think that's it for me. I'll pass the mic over to you if there are any questions. Happy to stick around, but the ball is in your court, my friend.
Jason, thanks so much. You did a great job in just a short period of time, in an hour, of talking about technical analysis and how important it is for investors and how they can just get started. Of course, Jason offers a lot of courses on this kind of thing, so you can go to optionsource.net. Jason, do you do this? Let's say that I have somebody in Texas or in California. Can they actually contact you and learn more about it, even from not being in person, but do it online?
Yep, absolutely. The real sort of foundation of optionsource.net is the fact that we are an online-based learning resource. And so regardless of whether you're in Texas, we've got subscribers, members from Australia. If you cannot, I know the time difference is not an issue really so much on Texas, but all of our European-based subscribers who like to trade the U.S. markets, we actually archive all of our classes so that you can go in and watch the recordings. And of course, we're here from a support and mentorship perspective as well. I was on a conference call with some folks in Australia. It was 9 in the morning my time. It was 9 in the night at night their time. But we were getting the job done. So our business is about being available to anybody, anywhere, and feel free to contact us at any time to learn more.
Thanks, Jason. I'm going to start to tackle. Actually, I'm just going to try to look through the questions. You're going to tackle them. What about indicators and then charting software? Do you have, I know those are two different questions, but number one, how many indicators are appropriate? Number two, can you recommend software packages, or how are they different?
Sure. Well, first of all, as far as the different indicators and how many are appropriate, we like to start everybody out with just two. We like to keep it as simple as possible. In my day-to-day trading, I only use two because my focus is on the price action and the charting and the identifying key support and resistance levels, and then I put in my MACD and my RSI just to support those observations. But recognize that there are hundreds of different indicators and oscillators available. As you become more comfortable with the art of technical analysis, you may want to go in and experiment a little bit more. But I think that it's important not to put the cart before the horse. So in a sense, don't try to learn and identify and understand every single indicator and oscillator that is available to you. Just start with the simple ones, and you'll find that you may try to get a little more advanced, but it always reverts back to the to the simple things. So MACD, RSI, or MACD and your stochastics, which is another momentum indicator, are definitely both great lower indicators to start with, and then we just go right to our price charts and we look at that price action to determine our trade entry and our profit taking procedures.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.